I am the founder of the Dum Dubs Guide to EXP. Maybe you've heard of it in workplace. I also do the kvCore for Dum Dubs. And I am super excited that Jonathan asked me to take care of his class tonight. He's never done that before. So I'm like, really? Me? But what I've done, instead of me teaching, I decided to invite Gayle Zientek here. And I'm going to tell you all about her in a minute. But what we're going to be doing tonight is it's Gayle's presentation called Referrals for a Living. This is a great class. I just took it. I took it as a Con Ed class because in Michigan, it's approved as a Con Ed class. And Gayle taught it Thursday in Grand Rapids. I invited her to come and we got some agents together, and it was great. And I think that you're all going to benefit from it. She's basically going to tell us how we get to use social media, our smartphones, and note cards to build 100% referral business. So we're going to go all over that in a minute. But that's what's happening tonight. I think you're going to love it. So a couple housekeeping items. I am actually live streaming this into Real Estate 101 right now because I wanted to make sure it was recorded, and so did Jonathan. So it's going to be available. It will be posted to YouTube as well, but it's going to be saved. This video is going to be saved in the Real Estate 101 group for replay for later. So that's great. And I just want to also make sure everybody can hear me. So what I'd like to do, okay, we have 121 in here, users. So what I'd like to do is a couple housekeeping items. You'll notice if you're looking at the screen on the left-hand side, there's some tips for how to use the world when you're in a meeting like this. And one thing I want to make sure you're all doing is muting yourself. So you're looking at your screen, on the bottom left-hand side, it says mic on or off. Make sure it says mic off. If you're having problems, it's like turn it off and start again. Turn it off and turn it on, So that's, I kind of have some tips up there on the left-hand side. So pay attention to that. I'm also going to put in right now, I'll do this now, and I'll also do it at the beginning, or the end of the class rather. But I've got some resources that I'm going to share with you. I already posted these in Real Estate 101 earlier today, but these are just some resources that are going to be related to what we are talking about today. And they're also resources that, you might not know about or want access to. And what these resources include, they include links to all my kvCore training videos. A lot of people asked me, they said, hey, are you going to be teaching kvCore tonight in Jonathan Dupree's class? No. You guys, I don't want to teach kvCore all the time. Yes, Nancy, I am. Jonathan asked me to step in for him today. Isn't that fun? So, okay. So yes, I'm in the chat. I just put in this public document. It's got just some resources that you'll need. And at the end of the class, I'll go over what those are. Okay? All right. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to tell you right now. I think that's it. We're getting to 131 users in the room, and it is 9:04. And Gayle, get ready, but I want to say a couple things. I just had like a flash on the screen. So, technology is not perfect. If I get kicked out of the world, I'll be back, all right? So if I just disappear somehow, it's okay. I'll be back. And let's see, what else did I want to tell you? Let's see. Oh, that's it. Okay, that's it. So if you're new in the world and you're looking at the bottom part of your screen where it says raise hand, I want you to click on raise hand if it's your first time in Real Estate 101 tonight. Ooh, okay, we got lots of hands. This is your first time in Real Estate 101 tonight? That's amazing. Holy cow. That is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You can put your hands down, and then you just click on put hand down, I think, to do that. Okay, so I would like you to raise your hand if you're not even an EXP agent yet, you're just checking things out. Can you please raise your hand if you're a guest with us tonight and you're not even an EXP agent yet, you're just looking around? Okay, we got one. Anybody else? Two guests at least tonight. Well, welcome to EXP. This looks really weird at first. When I first came into the world, I did not like it at all. But then I decided to come in and play with a couple glasses of wine a few times, and then I loved it. And somebody mentioned earlier that they love the new auditorium. And yeah, they fixed up our broker offices and a lot of the auditorium and meeting rooms, and it just has a fresh new look, and that's fun. Okay, great. Let's see. How many of you are brand new realtors? You've been a realtor for less than 6 months. Can you please raise your hand? Ooh, a lot. Holy cow. Okay. A good amount. All right. And then could you raise, put your hands down. Could you raise your hand if you've been a realtor for less than 1 month? Less than a month. Okay, a good amount. Well, fantastic. Welcome to real estate. Woohoo! All right. So we're going to go ahead and start. It is 9:07. We've got 151 people. More people will be coming in. Yes, this is being recorded. Yes, we are live streaming into Real Estate 101 right now. Yes, this is going to be able to, you'll be able to see this again. It's going to be saved in the video section of Real Estate 101. And yes, Joyce, it is very odd, but very cool. So if I don't see all of your questions, it's hard to actually, present and facilitate and look at the questions at the same time. So any of you kind of, more seasoned EXP people, anytime you can help people answer questions or anything, please help me, okay? And I'll do my best to pay attention. Okay, awesome. All right, we have today Gayle Zientek. I'm about to introduce you to her. She lives in Kalamazoo, Michigan, or in that area, Three Rivers, actually. She lives about an hour south of me. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is the west side, kind of middle west side of Michigan. And Gayle has, Gayle, how long have you been a realtor?
2004, 15 years.
15 years. So Gayle's been a realtor for 15 years. She, in 2017, was named Realtor of the Year in her association. And she is 100% referral business. Her and her husband work together. They do between 40 and 50 deals a year on 100% referral business. And that's why she's here today. So I'm excited to have her. So, Gayle, I would like you to tell us about referrals for a living and why you came up with this course content that you're going to teach us today.
Oh, awesome. Sylvia, thank you for having me. And I'm hearing a little reverberation. I don't know what that is, but I don't even know how to turn around. You guys, you first timers in here, I've never been on stage before, so I don't know how to turn around and look at you.
Well, what you're going to do is you're going to just use the little arrow keys to the right or left, and then it's going to turn you.
All right. So I've got two screens hanging up here.
Oh, right. So wherever your screen is in the world, you're going to turn. Oh, that's right. I get it.
Okay. Well, you know what?
It's fine. We're just going to look at your butt. They're going to look
You just don't have to look at my.
It's fine.
All right. So referrals for a living. Where did that come from? It actually came from. I've had 100% referral business since 2012. My husband Steve and I actually opened up our own company here in Michigan. We worked out of our home for 5 years. 4 years. We had an office for 3 years, and then EXP came along, and we saw it as a great opportunity. So I have been teaching and training realtors for many, many years on the value of building your business by relationship. So my friend Hank Avink, he's one of the influencers with EXP, and he's right from my 40 minutes in Richland, Michigan, but he wrote a course called 36 to Life, and taught it with him, and people said, well, we want more of what you do, Gail. So he said, go write your course. So that's really how Referrals for a Living came to be.
Okay, got you. So Gail, I want to say something. I can hear you, but I have my volume turned all the way up. So if there's anything you can do to speak directly into your mic, that would be great. Are you still hearing that reverberation?
No, I'm good now. I think I'm good. Is that better?
Yes, and I can hear you much better now. Great.
Awesome.
Okay, so just so everybody heard, so Gail had been doing some coaching and teaching along with Hank Avink, who has been with EXP for a long time, and he's a coach, a real estate coach as well, and is also in Michigan. And then she his class, his course 36 to Life that he teaches and that she was teaching with him, people really liked her take on it and her spin. And so that's what she's really going to be teaching, is her take on this. So, Gail, I would just love for you to kind of go through your presentation, and I might stop and ask you questions here and there. But just to give everybody a preface, there's a few things that we're going to learn tonight. The first thing that we're going to learn is really just the 3 simple steps to a rhythm of prosperity. And she's going to go over what those 3 simple things are. She's also going to be teaching what tomato is, and that acronym. I love that acronym. She's going to be talking about the power of one, and these are some key ideas I want you to remember. Okay, so I'm going to click on my screen, so I'm recording the screen, and I am going to go ahead and let you go. Oh, wait, before you go, somebody's asking a question, and before we get too far, and I want to make sure everybody can see and hear. Everyone's doing a good job helping each other, so I think that's good. Yeah, Greg, it's fine if you can't see everybody else. You just want to see the screen. It's fine. All right. All right, good. Okay.
Awesome.
Are you ready, Gail?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready too.
Welcome, you guys. To have 172 of you in the auditorium to hear this presentation is just really awesome. And I hope, like Sylvia said, you'll take away some ideas, some golden nuggets that you can use in your business to focus on your relationships. And tomato is top of mind awareness through others. If you can gain top of mind awareness through others, you win the game, because they're the ones that are referring you and putting you out there. So we're going to talk about this. In Michigan, if you're a Michigan agent, you get 2 hours of continuing education credits for this course. Looking in to see if I can do it online and allow those credits, or if it just has to be in person. So we're going to work on that one. We're going to identify your top 132. Now, have you heard, if you identify 100 to 150 people as your top 100, that imagining each of those people know 250 people, how many potential referrals are sitting there waiting for you? So we're going to talk about identifying your top 132, strategy to stay top of mind with them so that the referrals, and 3 habits that lead to a rhythm of prosperity. And Sylvia mentioned your smartphone. We're going to talk about social media tonight. I live on social media. Right now we're working a deal for a referral that came through social media from a client of ours. And it's 2 listings and 1 buy because we're bringing 2 families together. So your smartphones, so mail. So I want you to, if you're taking notes, write those things down. And this is a little bit about me. There's a picture of my husband, Steve, and I. I got in the business in 2004. He got into the business in 2006. We've been 100% referral since 2011. We close about 40 to 50 homes per year by referral. I mentioned I was the 2017 Realtor of the Year for the Greater Kalamazoo Association of Realtors. I'm a master relationship marketing trainer. Been doing that for several years. I'm a senior executive affiliate with a company called Send Out Cards, and I'll get into that story a little bit later. I've been on their Eagles Nest Advisory Council for the last years. I was the 2018 Runner-Up Affiliate of the Year, and we're going to go into why are you here. We're talking about a better way to do business. I'm sure that, this is what's weird about being here talking, and I'd love to be looking into your eyes and watching your reaction, because there was a lot of new people that raised their hands tonight, and you can be doing business by referral. It's so much better than the alternatives of buying leads.
That's great, Gail. I'm so excited that that's what we're focusing
going
on.
After.
Oops, can you hear me?
I can.
I was going to say, that is so great. I love that that's what you're focusing on, that, because I teach kvCore, right? And everybody and the reason I teach kvCore is because that is the way we can get free leads, digital leads. But, you can't even get free leads really unless you have a strong social media presence. So you're going to be teaching about that. But, you don't have to depend solely on generating online leads with strangers. And that's what I'm so glad you're going to talk about. So you go, girl.
Thanks, Sylvia. So here's some questions that I know a lot of agents ask. How can I attract new clients every day without having to grind it out? How can I get my human base? And that might be a new terminology for you. So many people say database. I want my database to work for me, but it really comes down to being human, working with humans. How can I serve my clients at a higher level and get more predictable results? And what would it be like if I could build my business, hits my income goals, gets results, and wins my life back? Because, we're in this business where we have the opportunity to make a ton of money. And there's agents out there that are making a ton of money. There's a lot of agents out there that are also spending a ton of money to make that money. So we're going to talk about a better way. Get your income goals hit and win your life back so that you can be at your children's baseball games, soccer games, football games, swimming meets, whatever it is that your family needs from you, you can have. So I want you to write down your income goal. If you have a piece of paper, I want you to think about this, because I can remember many years ago when someone asked me to write down my income goal, and I can remember writing down $68,000 a year. If I could just make $68,000 a year, because see, I was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years running a child care in our home, and I never made more than probably $35,000 a year. So 68 would be awesome. And then when I hit that, I set another goal, set it higher, and then you can reset. So I want you to write it down. This is the income that would change your world. What would be different? Would you go on more vacations? Would you donate more money to charity? What would be different? Why is it important to you? Because you always hear my why. It's the why that gets you through the how. And then I want you to write down one thing. For me, it was a family. this is a picture of my vision board. See, we joined eXp Realty in October of last year, closing down our brokerage, my husband Steve and I. So of course, we should all have on our vision board to become icon agents, right? Do you have a favorite word? My word for this year is cascade. And when I looked it up, it was the process whereby knowledge or information is successively passed on. So when you newbie agents have the experience, you will in the future be teaching other people what you've done. So I want you to have a vision board, create it around your family, your friends, your travel, what you want in life, vacation. Put it out there. How many transactions do you want to do in a year? I set my goal for this year to do 36 because, see, you know, doing 40 to 50 is great, but if you can make more money doing less work and increasing your sales price, it makes a huge difference.
I love that, Gail.
Create a vision.
Gail, can I interrupt you for a minute?
You sure? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go back to that. I don't know if you can go back to your previous screen, the one that had the word on it, cascade. So that is, it's so interesting. I don't know if I got to tell you on Thursday when, you know, for everybody else, I got to meet Gail for the first time in person on Thursday when she did this presentation in Grand Rapids for about 25 agents in Grand Rapids. And just earlier, actually the day before that day, so it was Wednesday, I met with a lender, and she and I did yoga together. And she's a new friend that, you know, we're getting to know each other. And she was talking about her word of the year. And I hadn't thought about this in a long time, having a word of the year. And her word, and she was talking about how busy we are and how, you know, it's hard to be organized with the cleaning of the house and the taking care of the family and the work and the blah and the blah. So she said her word of the year was systems, and that she was thinking if I could just have the right systems and I build my systems, everything will take care of itself. And I don't have to worry if I'm a little unbalanced sometimes because the systems take care of it. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And I hadn't thought of a word of the year in so long. And then you, on the next day, my reticular activating system must have been at work because then you talk about your word of the year, cascade. And I just loved that. And so I had to come up with a word of the year, a word for the rest of the year because we're halfway through. So my word of the year, I decided, is relationships. Huh?
Huh? Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to share that. Word of the year. I love that. So besides having the vision board, the word of the year, I think that's just so important. So thank you. Anyway, go ahead. That's it.
Well, and though I go back, so I don't even remember what year. So my first word that I did was engage. I wanted to engage with people, and that was a good word, and I engaged the heck out of myself. So then the next year my word was define. I wanted to define who I wanted to engage with and be a little bit more focused. Then I wanted to attract. I don't know about you people in the audience, guys and gals, but I'm not one that goes out and cold calls very easily. I like to attract people. So I like to be the best me and attract people to me, and that's worked out well over the last year. Last year, my word was multiply. I wanted to multiply, and then this year is cascade. And, you know, I can look each year, I can go back and I look at how those words played an important part in my journey. So, Sylvia, congrats on the word relationships. Fits right in with what we're talking about today. I had a dream. Guys, this is my family. I have 3 grown children. I have 9 grandchildren, ages 16 down to 6. And this was the last time they were together, 2013. That's Steve and I at one of our Michigan Realtors Who Care events. And oh, I'm hearing myself. There we go. So I want to do something. I thought I want to do something good for my children, my grandchildren. So I said, when they hit teenage years, I want to take them on a special vacation. And so this was 2017. We have our granddaughter, McKenna. She's now 16. She just graduated from high school a year early. Amazing young lady. We sat on the North Shore and watched the big surfers. We surfed ourselves. She wanted to surf, so I said, sure. This was a vacation that was no holds barred. We were just going to have fun. You know, have you ever been to a restaurant and you looked at the menu and you read down the right-hand side? That's what we normally do. What does it cost? Instead, we went to the restaurants and we read what we were hungry for, and it was just the most amazing trip. We went to Pearl Harbor and learned. And I tell you all this, you might say, Gail, what does this have to do with selling homes? Well, what it has to do with is building dreams, because when you sell homes and you have fun doing what you're doing, and you have the relationships and you live life and you do a good job for people, they will continue to bring that back because they want the best for you as well. And it's been habits and consistency. I'm going to share with you some ideas and things that we've been doing. The one thing that we've been doing consistently for the last 12 years, it really comes down to the three things that I talked about. Social media, sending cards, and your smartphone. This is the one. See, Sylvia, this slide, they kind of look like x-ray people, but it all has to do with spending time with the people that you like to spend time with, because those are the ones that are going to send you business. So we're going to identify your 36 A's. When you think about your top 132, I'm going to divide them into A's, B's, and C's. The A's are the heartbeat of your business. They're the heartbeat of your life. They're your family, your friends. And you pour into these 36 A's. If I got a call right now from my daughter saying she needed me, I'd say, Sylvia, take over because I got to go be with my family. You all have those type of people in your life, and they are the ones that are there for you when the phone rings. They're there for you, you're there for them, and we can all have 36 really solid relationships like this. Some of us might not have that many. We might have maybe 18 to 20 that are our true A's that are in our life. Then we're going to identify 96 B's. Now the B's are the people who know, like, and trust you. You know what they do for a living. You know the names of their children. They might be people that you meet at your kids' schools. You have conversations. You do things together. You send birthday cards. When you go on Facebook and you see something has happened in their life, you might pick up your phone and call them. You're just going to send them a card of congratulations or of sympathy. So if you have your 36 A's and your 96 B's, you have 132 powerful relationships that will help you in your business and in your life. And then there's C's and D's. I want you to identify 228 C's and D's. Now these are people that you might have a transaction with, and you know the transaction went great. You know, you picked them up off of your kvCore lead, and you got them through the transaction, and you know, you maybe didn't, they're not someone that you're going to go out to eat with and socialize on a regular basis like your A's and B's. So if you identify your 228 C's and D's, this is where the math comes in, 360 people. Now, I'm sure that everyone on this call tonight or in the auditorium tonight is at least 10% good. So if you could convert just 10% of your database into referrals, you can close 36 deals a year by referral. So I want you to look at the numbers and maybe on your sheet of paper, have a column for your A's, have a column for your B's, and then have a column for your C's and D's. And there's a way to separate them also when you're working on social media. What's the formula? That's my friend Hank Avink. He's my mentor. He's the founder of the National Coaching League and 36 Life. He is also doing really well with share in the EXP world, and he's a cool guy. If you don't know Hank, follow him on social media. Join 36 to Life. It's a closed group, but we share all what I'm going to teach and train tonight, plus more. You're going to get Gail's version. There's a lot of other coaches and great, people, EXP coaches that will teach and train you on lots of great things. We're going to talk about 50, 20, 5, 1, and 3. So 50 connections, 20 contacts, 5 conversations, powerful conversation, and 3 heartfelt cards. If you look at this formula and you adapt it to your business, I'm talking social media. So look on social media, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You all have at least 50 connections, right? And I'm going to dive into what the connections, what the contacts and things are.
Gail?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? So can you go back to that last slide? Sorry. Somebody asked, so there's 2 things I want to address before we keep going on. Somebody's asking, these whole 360 relationships, the 36, A's and the 96 B's and the rest of them, whatever they are. Somebody's saying, well, what if you don't have that many relationships? So that's just something I want you to be aware of. And then, so think about that for a minute, Gail, and think about how you can answer that. And then somebody asked, somebody's concerned that you're going to be recruiting for send-out cards. Obviously, that's not what's happening here, everybody. So Gail has been a realtor for 15 years. She was named Realtor of the Year in 2017, and she is teaching us how to build a referral business and how we can maximize social media note cards, whether it's send out cards or whatever else you want to do, and your smartphone to build these relationships. So that's what this class is about. And yes, this is on Workplace. It is live streamed in right now into Real Estate 101. And I just wanted to make sure. So anyway, okay. I will tell you, as far as, Gail is going to be talking about how she uses send out cards, because it is really cool. And then we can address that in the resources that I'm sharing, and we'll share again at the end of the class. We'll tell you, if you want to learn about send out cards, we will be able to share that resource with you. But that's not what we're going to focus on in this class. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that. And then finally, Gail, you had the question about, what if you just don't feel, what if I look at those 36 relationships, 96 B's, and that overwhelms me? I'm like, I don't know that many people. What can I do?
Okay, well, that's a really great question. When I got into real estate for 15 years ago, what did my manager tell me to do? Sit down and make a list of everybody that you know. And, so people from church, people from school, people from your kids' friends' parents, your dentist, your attorney, your doctor. You want to let people know what you're doing. You can't be a secret agent. So you can't hide behind the fact, if you're in real estate, this is a people business. You have to create the relationships. You can't just go through life. Now, maybe you don't have to, like I said, maybe you just start out with, you only have 20 A's that are those strong heartbeat of your relationships, of your family. Maybe you only have 30 or 40. I sat down and I made a list of 250 people and sent my form letter out 15 years ago. How many friends do you have on social media? I mean, you're there. How many people are you following on Instagram? How many people do you follow in Workplace? I mean, there's opportunities as you build relationships to pass referrals from one agent to another. So when you think about relationships, don't put it in a box. Maybe sit down and get those who do you know guides. There's a lot of them out there. Just Google who do you know guides, or maybe I've got a couple that I could, even if you really want to know that. But seriously, you got into real estate because you know people and you're going to help people. And if you do business with people that know, like, and trust you. Here's what Coach Barino told me. If people know who you are, they know what you do, they know how to find you, and they trust you, you won't have to worry about where your business comes from. So it's for the newbies in here, you better be taking classes. You're here tonight, 101. This is where you need to be to learn the meat and potatoes of what it is to build a relationship-based referral business. You also know how to have to do forms. I took my ABR, I took my CRS, I took my GRI, I took classes to learn my craft. Always be learning and growing so that you can add value to your customers and your clients. So I think that if you're intentional about sitting down and making a list and focusing on who do I know, you're going to come up with at least 150 to 200 names.
That's awesome, Gail. Good job. That's a great answer.
All right, here's a form, and we can download this into someplace, Sylvia, afterwards. I have in a PDF, but
okay.
This is what it's going to break down. So we're going to talk about commitment, the 6 C's of your human base, and where you want to be. So this kind of breaks it out. Your true relationships are your A's and B's. Your transactional relationships are your C's and D's. So we're going to talk about commitment, connect, contact, conversation, relationship. That's a new word because Hank needed another C. And we're going to talk about the formula. How to use the formula so that you can become noticed. You can become visible. I go to BNI and we talk about VCP. So VCP is you create visibility, you create credibility, and that leads to profitability. In order to create visibility, you have to engage with people. So it's a commitment. Everything starts here with a commitment. You're going to commit to doing something every single day that's going to cause you to interact with other human beings. So 50 times, you're going to do that. 50 times a day, you're going to contact. This is like a tool. Hang on, you skipped high five. Connect. This is the 50 of the 50, 25, and 1. Connecting. It's a virtual high five. You're going through social media. You're looking for what's going on in people's lives because they're posting it out there. You're going to give an emoji. Just a thumbs up, a heart. I saw people today getting engaged. I saw people today enjoying the summertime picnics, vacations with their family, weddings. One of my good friends, a fellow realtor, Tammy Miller, her daughter got married. So I'm looking at all these pictures, right? So I'm engaging in my newsfeed with an emoji. Might even be a brief little comment, but it's like a high five. You know, you're just like noticing somebody. And when you notice them and when you engage, I wish I could see the audience. I'd say raise your hand if you're the drive-by guy. If you're just you're a voyeur, you're on social media and you never engage, but you know what everybody's doing. If you're that person, I want you to start giving the like button, hitting the like button. When you show up, you become visible to that person, and not only to that person, but everybody else who's visible to that person. They're going to see your name. Like today, my husband, we saw one of his classmates got a new motorhome. And I said to Steve, did you see Margie's new motorhome? And of course he saw it because right underneath if I would have just scrolled down, I would have seen his name there. See, you get seen by other people when you engage on social media. So that's important. Connect, virtual high five. Contacting. This is a virtual handshake. This is where you're going to pause. And you're going to comment. You're going to see Margie and Greg's new motorhome. You're going to go give them a thumbs up, and then you're going to go, wow, where are you going to first? You know, you're asking the question, you're making a comment, because now what happens if you make a comment and you ask a question? Chances are they're going to respond to you. And so when you exchange words, it's emotion, it's energy, and they feel your energy. How many of you, like, think about this to yourself? When somebody recognizes you and gives you an emoji, and you go, wow, I haven't heard from that person in a long time. And then they comment on your, oh my goodness, they're like paying attention to me, and you respond. So it makes you feel good. Just know that it makes other people feel good when you're on that end giving the engagement. Conversations. Learn to ask great questions. You know, is it your default to ask, or is it your default to tell? So many of us like to give prescription. We like to tell people what to do instead of asking the clarifying questions. When we learn to ask great questions, it engages people in conversations, and we get to then see if there's a need that we can fill. We can add value by understanding and getting to know them. So this is the 5. And the other one, the virtual handshake, that's the 20. When you comment, that's the 20 in the 50-20, 5-1. Conversations, excuse me, are the 5. I want you to have 5 conversations a day. This conversation could be a text message. It could be a messenger. It could be a thread. How many of you have ever commented on somebody's post and they comment back, and you have a little conversation with them? That happened to me a month or so ago. I was in the airport, and John, my friend from here, saw that I was flying to Detroit, and he was in Detroit waiting to catch a flight somewhere else. And because he saw that on my thread, we were able to catch up in the airport in Detroit and have a little conversation face to face. So look to have 5 of these type of conversations every day.
Gail.
Yes.
Gail, so I love what you said about make it your default to ask, but not your default to tell. Like, don't be the prescription giver every time somebody brings something up. I love that. And then when you're saying conversations, you're just talking about really any sort of good, meaningful conversation. Do you have to be talking about real estate in these conversations, in your opinion?
Preferably not. I mean, you know, like I said, if people know who you are, they know what you do, and they know how to find you, then you're golden. The power comes in when you're having conversations about them. and chances are 95% of the time, the people that you're in conversation with aren't even thinking about making a move. But you know what? How many people do they know? They probably know 250 to 500 people to 1,000 people. And it's you getting into the top of mind to them. That's the tomato, top of mind awareness through others. You have enough conversations with people, they know who you are and what you do, then when they go to work and now they're in conversation with their colleagues at work, and they hear somebody's thinking about making a move, then they go, oh, wait, I was just talking to Sylvia the other day, and she was telling me about what, you know, well, and in that conversation, maybe Sylvia, you do have conversations about real estate, even with your friends. So let's just say, oh man, the inventory is so low right now, because they ask you. Mm-hmm. If you're good about asking them questions, will they not ask you questions back? Mm-hmm. So you get the good diagnosis. If you ever go to a doctor does what? He asks you questions. How are you feeling? When do you have that pain in your stomach? He asks questions so that he can diagnose what it is you need. So in your relationships, in your conversations, it's going to lead to having one powerful conversation every day. And the powerful conversation is one that you remember where you were, what you were doing when you had that conversation with somebody. I was driving my way to my lake and I knew I was going to lose service, so I pulled into a gas station. I had a 45-minute conversation with somebody, and every time I now go by that gas station, I think of that conversation I had. Look to have one powerful conversation. After your conversations that you have, you'll know how they might go into your database. Think about it. You have five conversations, and maybe two of those will go into your A's. Two of them might go into your B's. And then one can go into the C category. So any other questions about that, Sylvia?
No, that was good. Somebody is asking, the five thing there, the high five, the handshake was number 2. What's number 3? The converse.
So you have your 50 connections.
Yeah.
That's the high five.
Oh, the 50 connections is the high five. Okay.
The 20 contacts are your virtual handshakes.
Okay.
The comments.
Okay.
And then the 5 conversations. Could be text message, Facebook Messenger, could be a phone call.
Okay.
And a lot of times, those conversations can come from what you see on social media. And when I talk about social media, if you spent an hour a day, you can do this formula, the 50-25-1, in an hour a day. And there's a whole nother class we could go into and show you how you can actually rate yourself. You could there's a way on Facebook to go in and see what your activity is. And if you just get good at this and it's a daily thing that you do, you're going to have the results.
I'm just going to make sure, Gail, that everybody, there is some feedback here and there. It's okay. We can get through it. So if you're getting feedback, reverberation, make sure everybody mute yourself, please. And, the best we can do is just go with it and just, listen through it. Kind of, you have this sometimes in the world when there's a lot of people in here. It just happens. So anyway, moving right along. You're doing great, Gail. Keep going.
Okay, consistency. If you do this on a daily basis, you want to apply this to your business, you'll attain simplifying your business because you're going to have the referrals, you're going to have the conversations that are going to lead to the referrals that come in, and you're going to earn the net income that you desire. Relationship marketing. Now, relationship marketing is personal interaction that builds on the customer base you already have. So if you're new to the business, maybe you don't have a ton of closed sales yet, but you do have relationships. You do have long-term relationships with people who are excited about what you're doing and where you're going. And so I want you to think about that. Building long-term relationships with customers will create loyalty, and all businesses are striving to achieve. So market with your heart. Be human. Allow people in to know who you are, what you're doing, that you're excited about your job of being a realtor. And, when you're thinking about it, with EXP, we also have the opportunity to attract people. So be the best agent in your community, because chances are you're doing a good job and you're successful. You can attract other agents in to learn from you and to grow and to take advantage of everything EXP has to offer. So there's 3 habits. Social media, we just talked about social media. A ton about social media. Probably 25% of our business is done on social media. We were just having a. Oh, I hear that feedback, and it's.
I know. I don't know exactly if it's your computer or what it is, Gail, but just keep going. And if everybody can mute themselves, make sure you're muted. That would be lovely.
So, your social media will win the game. Smartphone, everybody has one. You don't even hardly need a computer anymore because everything we do is on our phone. And selfies, are you taking pictures every day? Are you comfortable to do videos? If you use your smartphone and you're doing videos every day, or, I mean, honestly, when I say that, people cringe. Some people haven't ever done a Facebook Live video. Be your authentic self, get comfortable with it. Start with taking selfies, start with taking pictures of your community. Wherever you go, take pictures. Because one, you can text them to your friends, right? You can also post pictures on social media. So if you have a client event or whatever you do, take pictures, post those pictures. You have a new listing coming up and you're standing out there and you're really excited about it. Why don't you do a little Facebook Live video? Use your smartphone. Get in the habit of doing that every day. Snail mail. I've used send out cards for 12 years, you guys. So I'm going to talk about send out cards. You can choose. Michael Mayer writes in 7 Levels of Communication that, and Brian Buffini talks about handwritten notes. I don't care what you do, but snail mail is important because it shows up. It's a tangible touch. People know that you thought of them, that you took time to think of them and do something. So referral business comes by way of customer trust, loyalty, and confidence. If you use those 3 things, you will develop loyalty and confidence and trust in your peeps. So level 4, engagement in social media, your smartphone, and sending cards. Level 1 is unconscious incompetence. You don't think about it, you don't do it. Level 2 is conscious incompetence. Unfortunately, many people fall in this category. You think about it and you don't do it. I want you to get to level 3 and 4, where conscious competence is you think about it and then you do it. That's the creation of the habit. You're thinking about it and you're doing it. And get to where it's unconscious. It's just a part of who you are and what you do every single day. And you don't even have to think about it. You just do it. That's picture with Cody and Jody Bateman. They're mentors of mine. They're the co-founders of Send Out Cards. And they've created this business so that we, as business owners, can have something that's a tangible touch. So here's 3 powerful questions for you. How much is one referral worth to you? I'm just going to use 5,000 for us. That's kind of the Midwestical sale. So one referral to us is worth 1,000. How much money have you left on the table because you haven't stayed in touch after the sale? People, I think this, I'm not sure what the statistics are, but like 85% of the people would use their realtor if they remembered who they were. It's your job to stay in touch after the sale. And think about this, would 1 or 2 additional referrals each month change your business? Would an extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 each month change your business when it comes by referral and not because you're out paying for leads that you're working your tail off to solidify? Social media. 50, 25, 1, and 3. You guys, if you do this every single day, you're connecting with people, you're becoming visible with people, and they're going to interact with you. They're going to see you more. The algorithms of Facebook is because you're out there and you're doing things, you're engaging, and when you engage, other people will engage back, and you create a stronger visibility. And if I had you raise your hands and I'd say, how many of you use Androids?
Do you want me to see?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, I'm going to do that. All right, I'm going to turn my little self around. All right, hang on. All right. Please, if you're raising your hand, you're using Android. So raise your hand if you are using Android. All right. You know, maybe a fourth of the room, maybe I'm a third of the room, because I don't know. It's maybe a third.
Okay.
A third. Okay, so if you can raise your hand if you're using an iPhone or Apple.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
it's just a lot more. Oh, it's like ridiculously a lot more.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Here's the key. It doesn't matter what you have as long as you use it. Okay, so I love the little emoji on that on the screen up there. Here's 3 examples of me using my smartphone. I'm an Android user, by the way. Like I said, it doesn't matter as long as you use it. But that's a picture of me with my 2 granddaughters, the oldest, McKenna, and the youngest, Kendall. Kendall lost her wrestling match. She was sitting on my lap, kind of sulking because she didn't think she was going to get to wrestle again. And that's her big sister, and it was just fun. That's one of my favorite pictures because it captures a lot. The one in the middle is my friend Becky. And I've known Becky for, what did I figure, about 20 years. But when I met Becky, she had lost her husband to cancer. And she had a young son, Alex. And over the course of the years as Alex was growing up, Steve, my husband Steve, would take Alex hunting and fishing because that's what he loved to do. And he was kind of like a father figure to Alex. Since we've helped Alex and his wife Danielle purchase a home, we helped Becky's niece and her husband purchase a home. We just sold Becky's home last winter, and there's a really interesting story that goes behind this, because you see, this is the power of relationships. The fact that Steve was involved with Becky's son Alex for all those years, when Becky's friend who works in the relocation at a local brokerage said to Becky, hey, why don't we just put your house through all the agents in the office and we'll see if we can get some interest. And Becky's like, oh, well, is that going to cut Gail and Steve out? And she says, well, you know, I just wanted to help you save money. And Becky said, I'm not cutting Gail and Steve out of this deal. They've been my friends for 20 years. They've been around. It's the relationship, you guys, was more powerful than saving $6,000. And how many of you would like to have Becky's in your life? So start today. Start today building those solid relationships by just being there for people. Doesn't always have to be about selling homes. I'm telling you, 10, 20 years into the future, you're going to have people that will honor that. And then the other one's just a picture Steve took. We were some friends at a hockey game. You know, this is the power of pictures. Take pictures every day. I sent Becky a card with a picture of us on the front. I've sent Becky lots of cards because I was thankful that she stayed with Steve and I, and we had the ability to help her sell her home. So sending heartfelt cards every day. I want you to send at least 3 cards every day. If you're having 5 conversations, 1 powerful conversation, you're going to find opportunities that you can pause and send a card. Sit down at your desk, take out your stack of note cards and say, Dear Mary, I just saw that you had your very first grandchild, and I wanted to take a moment and congratulate you. Being a grandma myself, you are in the treat of your life. Or you can be funny and say, this is why we had kids. The reward for having children is grandchildren. So, you know, have humor, have sentiments, but send at least 3 cards every day. Here's communication is key. We all have heard of the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I want you to focus on the relationship and make it about the person. 20% of the time, it's okay to use your marketing strategies. Communication vehicles, texting, phone calls, social media, face-to-face. hey, there's nothing wrong with inviting your friend to lunch, or, celebrating your friendships by having a client event. Steve and I host 3 client events a year. One of them is a bike giveaway, but the other 2 are when we invite our clients to come face to face with us, and greeting cards. There's opportunities all around us. So I want you to think about this. Say thank you. 95% of business owners never say thank you. Don't be a 95%, or be a 5%, or be one that says thank you. And shares your gratitude and appreciation. Opportunities. Think about birthdays. You can go on social media and say happy birthday. You can send a message on social media, maybe a video singing happy birthday to them through Messenger. You can send a text message. My husband just he recorded himself singing happy birthday to a good friend and texted to her. She said, that was the best birthday message I got all day. You can call them up, and you can send a card. So the more you do, the more impact you'll have. Holidays, for agents, I think, great holidays for us to be sending cards is Thanksgiving or Christmas. Valentine's Day, I have a really cute card that I send out, won't you be our referral partner? And it's talking about, it's that time of the year, spring market's right around the corner, and we're just, looking for you to, if you know of anybody looking to buy or sell a home, we'd love the opportunity to meet with them. That's the 80-20. 80% of everything we send out or we do is about the relationship, 20% marketing. So here's my story. I got a card in the mail. In 2007, it was an unexpected card after a networking event, and it had a picture of my business card on it. When I opened it up, I said, how did they do that? Because the caption, nothing beats a great referral. So I called the sender of the card. I met with him for coffee. I sent a card on the system. I found it was the right service for me. You see, for 3 years in the business, I was asking my colleagues, what CRM do you use? How do you keep track of people? And everybody had a different answer, and nobody used it. So when I found send out cards, it was during that time where our real estate market took a turn. From 2008 to 2011, our listings were on the market for, sometimes a year to a year and a half. We had time to focus and build relationships. And so we did that, and we grew our referral business from 35% in 2008 to 100% in 2011. And we've been able to maintain that since then, closing 40 to 50 homes a year. I send an average of 8 cards every day. So that's just my story. I use send out cards to be able to do this and keep track. I have upwards, not quite 7,000 contacts in my CRM. So it makes it very easy for me to be able to send cards. I am very consistent with my 50, 20, 5, 1, and 3. So I'm going to share a story with you. A couple stories. I'm almost done. This is a story that is about becoming a level 4 card sender. I attended a networking event in 2011 with Steve. It was at the local chamber or country club. It was a taste of the chamber. And the guy on the front of the card to the left is kvCore. I took these pictures. I sent this card. I did not know anybody in this. I did not know anybody in this picture, in these pictures. I just simply said that, congratulated them on winning the taste of the chamber. And 5 days later, kvCore called and said, hey, I wanted to thank you for that card. He said, by the way, what you don't know is my family and I are moving here from the east side of the state, and I see that you're a realtor. Do you think we could meet and see if we'd be a good fit? So we met, and they bought a house. He met Eva. They got married. They bought this house, and a few years later, they fixed it up, and they had a couple kids, and then they bought this house. And then he had many brothers and sisters, and so we helped his brother get into a home. His sister, then they referred us to one of their friends who's a realtor on the east side of the state. This is where referral business comes in handy. Referred us to a couple who bought a home. His parents bought a home over in our area because they wanted to be close to their family, and a friend sold their home. So over the course of these few years, we sold 9 homes from that one card sent in 2011 and have earned over $70,000 in income. We've been invited to family weddings. We've been invited to Super Bowl parties. And all I can tell you is the relationships that we formed are priceless. And this is Zena and Douglas. Do you know, yesterday I got a text from Zena, hey, can we look at this house on such and such? This is where it was good to learn to ask questions. I just got into my lake home and she wanted to see this house. I'm like, question, are you thinking of selling? This is their home they bought 2 years ago. Well, our base floods. And so, yes, we're thinking of selling. I said, well, one, you have to fix the basement first because nobody's going to want to buy a house with a wet basement. Not the way it works. But 2, let's get that taken care of and see if you really want to make a move. And most people, this is what I used to do, you guys. I used to jump in my car and say, sure, I'll be right there. Let me set it up. Because why? I was anxious to show a home. Learn to ask questions, diagnose the situation. And isn't it cool that when they were looking at a house, they texted me? Now, we keep in track with them. They come to our client events. Right after our Flower Fest this year, I delivered 5 baskets of flowers to their family members. Because why? They're a relationship, and they're important to me. So that was one story. This is the power of one. And I want you to think about your vendors. I want you to think about the people in your life that make your job easier. One of those to us was Brooks Welp. She was the branch manager at a local bank. She was in our networking group, and her husband hired us to sell their home, and they bought this house. Brooks has gone on to become our financial advisor. We've been in relationship with her for probably about 8 or 9 years. And she knows a lot of people, and she's referred us a lot of business over the past years to friends, to family members, co-workers. We've been able to close 11 homes, $5,500 for referral. Brooks has been worth $7,000 a year to us over the past 9 years. So I want you to think about this. If you had 30 people that each were worth $7,000 a year to you, you'd be making $210,000 a year. And I'm willing to bet your net's going to be a lot better because you don't have to go out and pay a lot of money to buy leads. All you're doing is you're investing in your relationship.
That's amazing, Gail. I know I just saw this on Thursday, but I love hearing the story about the guy that he in his grocery store won the, got recognized, and it led to this huge, beautiful relationship with this whole family and $70,000 in commissions. And then this vendor who's a financial advisor, so many of us get approached by lenders and financial advisors, and sometimes we really don't want to, but you know what? I just decided to become a yes person because you just never know when you meet somebody what it's going to lead to. And I love that you said that, just by this referral relationship and all this money that it's brings you, it's not just the money, it's the relationship is awesome, and I'm just thinking, even when I used to sell cars, I have a few couples and individuals who I sold many cars to over just 3 years, just through referrals and everything. And now these same people have become my real estate clients, and it's because of the relationship. So I just want to, put that out there, especially those new agents who are just, I got to get leads. You just got to meet people. And so I just want to acknowledge that and thank you. So, okay, please continue.
So that's, earlier you said, well, what if I don't have that many relationships to put in my A's and B's? PR and his family, not even on my radar. They were not on my list. But see, my habit of celebrating people, to take those pictures and to send cards, was the catalyst that brought us together. And it's happened time and time again. So Jordan I met on an airplane. This is being level 4 with your smartphone. I said, hey, can we take a picture together? We were talking as we were getting ready to take off, and he had told me that he was from Grand Rapids, that his dad was getting ready to retire. He had a brother and a sister, I believe. And so I said, can we do something fun? So I took our picture, and then I just went to my app on my phone and I created this card. And it was really so I could compliment his dad's name was Rick, and I wanted to compliment him for raising such a fine son. Jordan was very personable. He was kind. He was conversational. And so I asked Jordan if his dad had a sense of humor, because I wanted to send him this cup. Congrats, you made it out of bed, as a little retirement card. Thank you for raising a fine son. Acknowledged his retirement. And it was probably a week or so later, I got this text message from Jordan with a picture of his dad with a coffee cup. So this is the power. I have not really thought much about Jordan in the last couple years. So this year I was thinking about him, and I'm sorry, these pictures, something happened when I put it into Google Drive, but I sent Jordan a card with that slide you just saw, and I basically just said, I taught this in front of a room of 160 business owners, and it was to show them how easy it is to connect with people. How's your dad's retirement going? And here's what he sent me. He sent me this on April 15th, got your card in the mail, was out of town for a while, had my 30th this weekend, dad's retirement is going great. See, the cards lead to conversation, conversations lead to opportunities, and opportunities lead to business. Now, I'm not expecting business from Jordan anytime soon, but the card led to a conversation. It reconnected us. And who knows what will happen, because see, on the back of the card, I have my branding, Gayle Zientek, Epique Realty, have our contact information. I let them know that we're donating 1 bike for every home sold. So being able to brand yourself as you send these out is amazing. This is examples of 50-20-5-1-3. The 50 is, I saw Juliana post, she changed her banner picture. She's a good friend of ours, sold them a home. They've got 3 kids now. And so I took the banner picture and I just simply made a card and sent it to them. And she texted me this picture, a selfie of her and all 3 of her children. Thank you for this beautiful, fabulous, wonderful card. Shanae's eyes got huge and she looked at me and said, hey, I drew that. Thank you for your love. XOXO from all of us. Cards lead to conversations. What we talk about, a text message is a conversation. So the card I sent led to a text message from Juliana, which led to conversations between us. Conversations lead, and we just had a conversation about them selling their home and looking for property so they can build a home on acreage. My friend sent me a card. And so I took a picture of myself with the card. Again, what am I doing? I'm branding myself, right? If you have EXP wear, put your hat on, put your shirt on. Always have that kind of as a subliminal message to people. But I texted her a picture of me holding her card she sent me, and it ended up in a lunch date where we got together and we were able to have some great conversation. because the card led to a conversation that led to a face-to-face interaction. And then this is a great story. I'm going to close with this story. Have you ever been late to an appointment? And I want you to know that if you practice, that even when you're late, if you practice on building rapport and being kind, good things can happen. So we went to this appointment. We thought it was at 4 o'clock. We arrived at 5 to 4. We knocked on that red door. So Mary opened the door and said, oh, we handed her our business card and introduced ourselves. She goes, oh, well, we were expecting you an hour ago. And Steve said, well, no, I had it down that we were supposed to be here at 4. Nope. Bill in the background said, nope, you were supposed to be here at 3. And so it was very uncomfortable. He goes, well, this won't take long, right? And we said, no, probably 5-10 minutes. Let's just take a tour of the house, show us around. We can go back and put some research together and let you know what our thoughts are. So she invited us in. She quickly toured us to the bedroom, to the bathroom, to the living room, to the upstairs. As we were upstairs, the timer was going off on the stove because she said, you know, I've already started dinner, and dinner was on the stove. The timer was going off, and here I'm standing upstairs all by myself looking around, and it was extremely uncomfortable. We were referred to Bill and Mary by their son. How about that for a first impression? You get a referral from someone and you show up late. So we ended up down in the basement. My husband, Steve, noticed that there was a circle in the room, and he knew that they had a couple of grandchildren. He said, I bet your grandchildren really love running around this circle. And then they go, yeah, and they started talking about their grandchildren. And then they opened up the water closet where the water main comes into the house and said, this is our wine cellar. And because the wine, you know, the water closet stays at a 55 degrees, so it's perfect temperature for to keep their wine bottles that they've collected on their trips to Croatia and Europe. And we started talking about travel and all the places they've been. We got good at asking them questions that brought out their life and what they were doing. So on our way out, we got in the kitchen. We ended up staying there for over an hour. Mary said to us, she picked up our business cards off that she had kind of haphazardly thrown on the table and said, I want you to know that you two are different than any other realtors that we've known. And you don't have to worry about calling us or keeping in touch with us, because if and when we're ready to make a move, you're our realtors. And by the way, you know, I grow a garden every year, so if you ever want to stop by and pick up, we always have extra tomatoes and extra cucumbers and peppers, so you're welcome to stop by anytime and get those. And so I am always observant. She talked about her potting shed. She talked about her garden. This is the card I sent. It arrived sent on Tuesday after our appointment. It arrived on Saturday along with a wine rack, because, you know, she talked about wine, and got the most heartfelt message from Steve. My husband now golfs with Bill on a Thursday senior league. The average age of that senior league is probably about 75. Steve's a young 60er. And so how many people do you think are on that golf league now that might have a need in the future to make a move? It's about building relationships. It's about meeting new people. It's about taking the opportunities that are presented in front of you and carrying those on. It's about being a good human being. It's about noticing people. It's about owning up to your mistakes and apologizing that lead to the good things. So Bill and Mary came to our client event. They picked out a flower, and now they are very, very good friends. We're looking forward to having them out on the boat this summer for a pontoon ride and a glass of wine. And I want you to know that if you make it a point to engage in conversations with people on a daily basis, engage with people on a daily basis, you are going to have a business that's going to satisfy every need that you could ever have. and you're going to enjoy doing this business called real estate with people who know, like, and trust you. So Sylvia, back to you, girl. Thanks for having me. I hope that those of you who are here can take away some ideas, some golden nuggets, and apply it in your life and in your business.
So, Gail, that was fantastic. Again, thank you. So I think we should all practice our little, moves in, EXP world, and like cheer or clap. Maybe we do a dance.
That was awesome.
So yeah, so there are a couple questions, Gail. It's 10:21 Eastern time, and we don't want to be here like till 11 o'clock at night or anything. But there's a couple things I want to say. This is recorded. It has been recorded into Real Estate 101 group in Workplace, and you'll be able to find the video in the videos section of that group. I will also be putting it in Workplace, so you'll be able to go back and look. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to tell you is I am going to share again some resources kind of specific for this class, but also for all of you EXP newbies. I'm putting it in the chat right now. It's a link to a Google document. And in this Google document, you're going to find just some shareables. One thing that Gail's going to be doing, if you want to learn more about send out cards, on Thursday, this coming Thursday, we're going to be doing a Zoom meeting where she's actually going to just talk about how to use send out cards so that you can learn more about it. So in this document that I just shared, there's an invite link, so you can check that out. And also in this document, I have just all kinds of links to a couple things. Gail mentioned The 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Maher. Great book about building referral relationships and being successful with a 100% referral business. And I have a book club that I lead Friday mornings we do a Zoom meeting. I have a book club in Workplace called the Go Getter Book Club. You can join it. But we did the 7 Levels of Communication book talk and mastermind. And so we recorded all the videos of that mastermind talking about the book. And so there's a link to that playlist. I also teach kvCore. And I have tons of kvCore training videos. I just looked at some of these views, you guys. I have one video that I think is the most popular. It's how to set up your agent website from start to finish in kvCore or something, and it's like 2,700 views or something. And I've had a lot of people tell me how much it's helped them. So I have my top 5 kvCore training videos that are going to teach you how to set up your website, how to create a squeeze page, what to do with those squeeze pages, how to make campaigns work. And again, I'm going to put the resources link into the public chat again. All the resources I'm talking about is in this link. Now, finally, I have been doing kvCore setups, you guys. But I have 3 more to go, and I'm behind, and so I'm not taking any more clients because I'd rather you do it yourself, number one, because you'll get more out of it. But if you don't want to and you don't have time, I do them, and I'm not going to take any more clients till after July 1st. So in this document that I just shared, there's 2 other people that I want to highlight. Adam Frank has helped me with my setups that I've done for people, so he knows what he's doing, and he's starting to offer his own service now. So that link to his packages there. Also, James Boyle, who's another great kvCore trainer, is offering kind of one-on-one coaching to teach you how to do it one-on-one. He's doing it in a different way. It's great. So you can check out those resources there. And then I'm trying to, again in this document I shared, I'm going to share it one more time. If you want to join Gail and I on a Zoom meeting this Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, you're welcome to do it. It will also be recorded, but it's going to be about how to use send out cards specifically. So, are there any questions that we need to answer now? You guys, thank you for your comments.
Hi, Sylvia.
Okay.
Sylvia, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm calling from mobile, and I cannot see the link. Will you be posted somewhere in Workplace?
Yes, I actually will. I already posted it in Real Estate 101 group earlier today, but I will post it also in the Dum Dums Guide to EXP. So you'll be able to find it in either one of those groups.
Thank you.
Yes. Somebody's asking about the book club. Go into Workplace, EXP Workplace, and search for the group Go Getter Book Club. Thanks, Bill. You guys, I kind of felt like a nagging mother tonight, so I'm sorry. Telling you to do stuff and to be patient and to stop worrying about the sound and to, you know, just let us do it. But we got through it, right? Okay. Okay. I missed a couple other questions. So is there any other final questions? You could also on the Workplace in Real Estate 101 where the video is playing and it's going to be posted live, you could kind of make a comment there and just tag me or and I can try to answer the question. You can find Gayle Zientek on Workplace as well and follow her. Yeah, I know I'm Eastern time too, and it is way past my bedtime. Woo! All right.
Thank you, Sylvia.
You guys have a great night.
You.
Bye.
Book club is awesome.
Thank you.
Good night. Awesome session.
Great, thank you. I'm so glad that you got something out of it,
Good night,
you guys. Okay, bye-bye. Gail, thank you. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
Good to have you. Good to be here. We'll chat soon.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for being here.
Sounds good, Gail. Thank you.
Finally figured out how to turn myself around.
Do the hokey pokey.
Do the hokey pokey. All right. Good night, everybody.